had another successful day with the tank in a loss to the San Antonio Spurs. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys. By the way, I don't know if the sound was coming out there. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But either way, let's start this show. So the Utah Jazz lose to the San Antonio Spurs. Let's lower me here and let's just go through it. This was a very successful night for the Utah Jazz, who are all in on getting the best pick possible in the upcoming draft. Let's talk about the Spurs a little bit, and then let's talk about the Jazz. We got to talk about Victor Wembanyama. He played 26 minutes and scored 33 points. He obviously did not want to go inside against Yusuf Nurkic, and that was part of the reason why he took 12 threes in this one. Sorry, I'm still figuring out how to make this work. So there we go. Am I live here? Yes, we're live. All right, so the Utah Jazz, Victor Wembanyama did not want to go inside against Yusuf Nurkic, and so he took 12 threes and made 7 of them. Wembanyama is just bonkers. His ability to spread the floor, can literally do anything. I mean, I was thinking about Wembanyama the other day, just the fact that he's like the tallest person on the planet and also happens to be the best basketball player. Like, how those two coincide together is insane. How he's this tall, this athletic. Oh, and he's also extremely good at basketball, has just trained his entire life, and now is just knocking down shots like crazy. And the fact that he goes 7 for 12 from 3, but he's probably a better defensive player than he is offensive player, is just nuts. And so the Spurs have themselves just an absolute monster of a player on their hands. So congrats to the Spurs. And I told you guys, I mean, there's some victory laps I should take. One of those was Stephon Castle. I knew he was awesome. I knew that, last season I almost felt like it was worth it to just not worry about the tank, and we ended up with the 10 with Cody Williams. But the reason I thought, that's the thing is, like, what makes me happy about last year and this year's tank, I'm talking 2 years ago, I guess, is that, if you're going to do it. And that's why I'm happy with what the Jazz are doing now, at least at this point in the season, and then also what they did last year. It's like, if you're going to be bad, be bad. Why would you just halfway do it? We learned the hard way, and I like what we're seeing with Cody Williams, but Stephon Castle is a borderline all-star now, won Rookie of the Year. So if you're going to do it, and that's what makes me happy about the Jazz. But anyway, Stephon Castle, I knew he was going to be good. He was awesome in this one, 18 points, 8 assists. He's also just like a Drew Holiday potential defender. They also got Dylan Harper. They just got lucky in the draft. Look at that. 6 for 7 from the field, 5 assists. They just have a wealth of big guards in San Antonio that just know how to score, pass, and play. I felt like De'Aaron Fox wasn't quite as, he didn't jump off the screen as much. And maybe that's just the Wembanyama effect. But then you look at the stats, it's 14 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, and 5 rebounds. De'Aaron Fox has been awesome for them. He was talking to Keyonte George, and I just wanted him to go away. I don't need your influence on Utah Jazz players, De'Aaron Fox. Not at all. Stay away from Keyonte George. We love him. We are keeping him. Do not talk to him. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. All right. So anyways, the Utah Jazz, another successful loss. They will play tomorrow against the Wolves. We'll see if Lauri Markkanen is sick. This sickness is not quite terminal, I'm guessing, but it may be season-ending, whatever it is. He's going to have the lingering coughs of lingering coughs. I know I'm having them. Tell you what, I'm still drinking this cider to try to help my stupid throat. I've been sick for a week and a half, 2 weeks. I guess Lauri Markkanen has the same thing. I hope Lauri Markkanen's taking his cider to feel better. But anyways, Utah does not need him to play. We know what he does and what he brings, and that he is really good. But Utah needs to lose these games because we need another top-tier pick. And something tells me this season is the season. We're going to get lucky. But anyways, Cody Williams, probably the first kind of off shooting night from the field for him in a while, which is exciting to say. Cody Williams is turning into a really nice rotation player. I don't know if he's going to be anything more than that. I assume that if the Jazz win the lottery this year, that he's likely going to be coming off the bench, but that's okay. That is okay. Cody Williams tonight, 1 for 2 from 3. Nice to see that. 3 rebounds, a steal. He just plays hard and just kind of plays as a connector on the floor. What I also really love is that he, like I said, he defends, but also he has a handle. He can handle the ball, be an outlet pass, can relieve pressure if they're, full court pressing. Full court press right now is definitely a thing a lot of teams are doing and doing more. And having guys on the floor that can handle the ball, especially as well as Cody Williams, is nice. Because just getting the ball past half court sometimes can be difficult. And so having a guy like that can make it much better. A quick outlet changes everything. Ace Bailey. Let's talk about Ace Bailey a little bit. I feel like the last 2 games, we have seen a lot of really good signs from Ace Bailey. He is showing an ability to do so much more than the scouting report. The scouting report was so wrong on him that he was basically this selfish chucker who takes bad mid-range shots. And yeah, he took a bunch of those at Rutgers, but it might have been because that's all there was. On the Jazz, he's been a defense first, pass first wing who is taking smart shots. Tonight, he goes 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. In fact, this right here probably ups his three-point percentage for the season. But stats-wise, we're looking at him at 34.2% from 3, which is down from, it was at like 37 at one point. I'm sure it'll go up. But he's just taking nice shots. He's not taking bad shots, and he doesn't take a lot. If anything, I'm sure Utah would be happy if he started trying to figure out how to do more. Like, can he drive to the basket more? But what was exciting about this game tonight, too, was these 4 assists. And let's just watch these quick. But these were him kind of running the offense. Like that right there. Look at that. Just a quick pocket pass to Nurkic. And a lot of these are to Nurkic. But look, this is him running a pick and roll. Finds the open man. Cody Williams drives and scores. Look at this. Another one. So this is, let's see. This is transition. Just nice little pass to, he's just got great instincts passing the ball, which I don't think anyone really predicted. There's just a quick little simple play. He is extremely unselfish to the point where you're almost wondering, should you be a little bit more selfish, right? Like, can we be a little bit more selfish? Ace Bailey, I think the Jazz honestly might want that, because if he can just do a little bit more, it would be great. And I think we'll probably start seeing more of that. This was really the first game where I saw, he ran a pick and roll. I don't know if we've seen him do that. Maybe he has and I just forgot. But 100% ran a pick and roll today. So I'm very excited. And it went well. So those instincts are there to pass the ball. Fantastic. Makes me happy. There are so many great signs. And the fact that he plays defense too. Like, he is big and long, defends, and also great rebounder. Another thing in the NBA right now, one of the big things for teams right now that leads to just effective offense is offensive rebounding. And just rebounding in general is so underrated in the league and what it does for your team. Ace Bailey rebounds like a monster. And so if Utah next year has, right now my big board of top 4, I have not expanded outside of that, although I think 5 for me is Quaintance. But I have Darren Peterson 1, DeBonsa 2. If Utah won the number 1 pick, I bet they pick Darren Peterson. I have heard, and you can see online, some things about that. Some rumors. Darren Peterson 1. I think you kind of have to go Darren Peterson. He is a Jedi. He is just like an for sure all NBA player when he gets into the league. I don't think it's even really debatable. And then I think DeBonsa is got to be 2 with his upside. The shooting is not as for sure as it is for Peterson, but DeBonsa is just so elite at drawing fouls. You just hope that his shooting can be better, but he's also proven to be great driving to the rim. And obviously the thing that DeBonsa has is the size. and he also defends. So I think you can go 1 or 2. I think you kind of have to pick Peterson at 1 because he's just so talented. And with NBA space, it might be game over. It might be like top 5 player. He's that good, guys. And you put him next to Keyonte George. And the point I'm trying to make here is, let's say they win and they pick Darren Peterson at 1. Oh my gosh. Just the idea of Keyonte George and Darren Peterson starting together. And then you put Ace Bailey at the 3, I guess Lauri Markkanen at the 4, and then let's say they just figure it out with Walker Kessler at the 5. And you have Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler crashing the boards while Peterson and Keyonte George just absolutely wreak havoc from the perimeter, just absolutely melting guys with the force. It's incredible. You have a Jedi on one side and Spider-Man on the other, right? I'm so excited about what they can be and what they can become. I think so, Christian House Money to Haas. I think we're on Twitter, and it looks like it's live on Twitter. I figured it out. So that was cool. I'm on both. I do prefer the YouTube, but I figure, you know what? I might as well do Twitter as well. Anyways, I'm excited about what we're seeing with Ace Bailey because I know this turned into Keyonte George and Darren Peterson, but Ace Bailey would fit with that. And if he can handle the ball a little bit, he can get to the line a little bit more, and then you add in the fact that he defends and rebounds, pretty exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. I don't know if Utah will be an elite defense, but I think they could get to top 10, especially when you're scoring at an elite level. And if you can stop transition and force guys into the half court, it's hard not to be at least average defense when most of your possessions are in the half court. If most of your possessions are in the half court, you're automatically going to do better. It's easier to defend in the half court. Now, if you put in elite defenders all over the floor and you stop transition, that's when you can go from like 15 to 10. And if you're top 10 with like a number and a top 5 offense, that's good enough to win a title. That's good enough. You can get there with that, but you got to be in that range. And Utah can fix some things with coaching and some things with talent. And so we shall see. I think one of the things is we're not going to see a lot of guys on the floor that can't defend. That's why someone like Filipowski, I'm not seeing a long future. It's why I'd prefer to see Taylor Hendricks develop because he can just defend. I think his injury's hurting him. I really do. I got to ask around about that. But like, I think he has a chance to be really good, but it's going to take longer than we thought. Much longer. $2. These games are what I pay for SEG Plus for. $2. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, this was a fun one. Yusuf Nurkic, I gotta say, he has been such a good functional big for the Utah Jazz. I'm not gonna lie, the drop-off from Walker Kessler has not been that much. And in some ways, he's been better. Like with his passing, he's just like a very smart, good offensive player. He's slow and plodding. Kessler's quicker and better and probably a better rim protector. Definitely a better rim protector. But Nurkic is not a bad rim protector. He's okay. Nurkic is an elite rebounder, and he just does some nice things on offense. He can hit some threes. He passes the ball extremely well to cutters and things like that. Tonight, Nurkic had 5 assists. He's just a good passing, smart big man. And Utah's done really well with him there, just offensively overall. Utah's not going to be top of the league in a lot of things, but that's because they're trying to lose these games. Svi Mikhailiuk got to play again. He was on good rest, and, he did what Svi does. 3 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. If there's a smart team out there that wants to add just a little more depth, like who knows, like the Cavs or someone like that just needs like an extra player, like the Knicks or whoever, one of these teams that's struggling a little bit could use a little boost. Mikhailiuk brings shooting. And in 23 minutes, he just brings efficiency there. I know he had the worst plus minus of the team, so who knows, but that shooting is nice. If you need a spread floor, if you need another shooter, like, I'm sorry, but Orlando, who can't shoot the ball, could really use Svi Mikhailiuk, like really badly. Take Svi off our hands. Give us a 2nd-round pick, and then we can trade that pick for cash and pay for the fines if they're coming. But I don't think they're coming. Keyonte George, I just got to say, and he's basically the thumbnail for every video now, because he is just a future star. I know he got some pub this year for the All-Star game, and he's going to get some pub for MIP. Probably Avdia wins it for Portland, but Keyonte George 100% deserves to be like number 2 or 3. I don't know, but he's been so good this year. He has improved in so many ways. Just after tonight, who goes 4 for 10 from 3, the numbers are just staggering how much he's improved. When you look at this year compared to last, he goes up each year. He's gone up 3 to 4 minutes. This year he goes up 3 minutes. He's averaging 8 more points per game than last year. He is averaging 45% from, it's 6.4% better than last year, or 6.5. It's crazy. The improvement is bonkers. Just this field goal percentage right here is nuts. 45% from the field. We're getting into elite territory, and we're pushing 46. 3-point attempts a game, 6.8, and he's hitting 37% from 3. He went up 1 percentage point. Like, I remember at the end of last year, and I was pro Key. I just was like, hopefully we see him kind of figure things out, because it wasn't looking great last year. And by the way, that interview he had with Zach Lowe was great, because I guess that conversation he had with Will Hardy changed things, where they said, like, the Jazz talked about, like, if we're giving a contract to Key after this year, I don't know if we're giving him one. And apparently that talk really changed things. And holy smokes, you go from 34 to 37% from 3, and he is the main option. Like, he was the main option tonight. Number 1, San Antonio with Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, and they are a team that, like, gives the Thunder fits. They've beat them 3 out of 4 times this year. And Keyonte George does this. And I know his numbers weren't, like, perfect. Like, field goal percentage-wise wasn't as great this game, 35%. But that's also against the Spurs and Wembanyama. He's the number 1 option, but he still shoots 4 for 10 from 3. And the other thing that is just incredible about Keyonte George is this ability to get to the line. The next closest player on the Jazz, free throw-wise, is Filipowski with 6. Keyonte George took 14 tonight. He just is elite at drawing fouls. He is elite at it. 12 for 14 from the free throw line, 6 assists, 30 points, and just 2 turnovers. It is just elite numbers. And if you add someone like Darren Peterson or DeBonsa or Wilson or Cam Boozer to this group, it's just lights out at that point. It's just, I can't tell you. I really am hoping we get Darren Peterson on this Jazz team, because how do you guard this team? And if Ace Bailey ups his 3-point percentage, which I have no doubt he will, I have a feeling Ace Bailey is going to be a 40% 3-point shooter. That stroke is just nice, and he works hard. He's only going to get better. You have that type of shooting all over the floor. How do you guard this Jazz team? Like, seriously. And if the biggest shooting, like, flaw for, like, let's say the Jazz, I know this is pie in the sky, but whatever, it's my show. I'm going to talk about whatever I want. But if you have a starting unit of, like, Keyonte George, Darren Peterson, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. Kessler's not going to shoot a lot of threes on that. He's probably going to do a lot of dunker spot stuff, a lot of pick and roll and whatnot. The biggest 3-point shooting liability is probably Lauri Markkanen. Are you kidding? How do you guard the Jazz? How do you guard the Jazz? Like, that's a team that will put up numbers that will just break the internet. They'll break the league. That would be a team that would be so good offensively. They literally have to consider changing rules. Of course they will for the Jazz, but I can't tell you how good that team would be. And it all is kind of based off of how good Keyonte George has become. We have been hoping for a superstar, and we got him. And that's why you get as many picks as you can. I've talked about this for literal years now, last 4 years. Since the trade, the capital TRADE trade. You get as many picks as you can. And anyone who says you shouldn't get picks is stupid. You're wrong. That's incorrect. You get as many picks as you can because you never know when they hit. You know, a number 9 pick turned into Taylor Hendricks. It's not looking great right now. And I'm hoping that next year he kind of bounces back and has a full year to just recover from injury, and maybe we get him back, and then that's another weapon. But then it looks like we kind of hit with Cody Williams. It looks like he's a rotation player. I don't know, he may be like the 8th or 9th guy on championship team, but that's okay. If he goes out and defends and can hit threes and handles the ball and moves the ball on offense, great. And that's like 10 to 15 minutes of that. Sign me up. But offensively, this Jazz team has a chance to be just spectacular. And it all stems from this. So they got one in key. Ace Bailey looks like he might have hit because he's just going to get better. Now, next year he may make a huge drop-off, and that would suck. But I have a feeling just watching what he's doing, he's just going to get better, and he's going to get a lot more opportunities for the rest of the year. I hope Lauri Markkanen is out with mono for the rest of the year. Whatever. Let Ace Bailey just grow. Give him a chance, and he will grow, and he will get better because he does just figure things out. He is doing little things every night. There was actually one miss that I really loved. In fact, let's go here. I want to talk about this really quick. It was this driving finger roll. I loved this. Look at this. He gets this. So look, they're running. This is a dribble handoff from Nurkic. He gets to do the option here where he either pulls up from 3 or drives to the basket. And then when he's driving to the basket, you either try to score or you kick out to the 3-point line. He goes here. I love this. And this was a miss. Look at this. He's got this guy on his hip. This is the Chris Paul kind of halfway crab dribble here. And then look who's in front of him. Mr. Wembanyama. Defensive Player of the Year, at least he's going to win it or will win it at some point. Or I think Rudy Gobert might win it this year, but Wembanyama, didn't he win it last year? I can't remember. Anyways, Wembanyama, and look what he does. Hesitation, he sees that opening and he just drives hard. And he has the length that Wembanyama doesn't block it. Now, he missed the layup, but that's the type of thing we're seeing. That play right there, I was like, oh, okay. Because that's what I've wanted to see is like, can he get to the basket with his handle? And that right there is it. That's the juice. That's the stuff. That's what you want to see. And so that's why, you know what? I would love to see Lauri Markkanen rest. Maybe put him out there when we play the Thunder or something. But Utah needs to lose these games. I think Utah, and we got to talk about this in a minute, I think they have a chance to get to that top 3 come lottery night because some of these teams are going to win. By the way, well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think this Jazz team has a chance to pass up Sacramento. I think they will pass up New Orleans. And, some of these other teams are starting to win. Like Indiana has started to show a little life, 4-6 in their last 10. And we know what Brooklyn can do. If they're not able to trade Michael Porter Jr., are they going to get in trouble with Adam Silver? Like everyone talks about the Jazz, but not them. And they don't even have a pick to keep. So guess what? Why do we get so much hate when we're fighting for our lives just to keep our pick? They're just losing to lose. Right? I mean, honestly, if the Jazz owned their pick, we'd probably be around here and not worrying as much. Right? And then you just hope you win the lottery. But we have to keep our pick, so they have to get to like 5 or 4 at least to just make sure we keep it. Brooklyn's just losing to lose, and yet we get the hate. Why? I don't get it. Does not seem fair, Adam. Does not seem fair. I'm getting bummed by Kyle Filipowski, guys. He's doing fine, and I know some people really like him. I'm kind of out. The defense is just not there, and offensively, it's just not good enough to make up for bad defense. That's my stance. Maybe he'll get better and I look bad and I'm fine with that. If Filipowski turns into just an elite player, then great. But I have my worries. Isaiah Collier also played pretty well tonight. 10 points, 2 assists, 2 steals. The thing with Collier is always going to be the 3-point shot, but he made one today. So I don't know. I don't have much else to say on him. Kevin Love played 20 minutes tonight. It seems like his shooting is and his offense, like his age is catching up a little bit. But he did rebound the ball 11 times, 2 assists and a steal, so not bad for Kevin Love. Walter Clayton got 31 minutes tonight, which was pretty nice, but he's been so hot and cold that like it's basically a carbon copy of last game. He did not shoot the ball well. He did have 7 assists though, so that's nice to see that he does distribute the ball, you know. And he might need to learn a little bit of what Keyonte George had to learn, where it's like you don't have to take every shot, right? Like sometimes if you want to just improve your percentage, instead of taking 11 shots, maybe you take 8, and you're finding ways to pass the ball more. Sometimes you're just missing threes though, and it kind of looks like that's what he did tonight, just 0 for 5 from 3. But, you know, and so in reality tonight he goes, 4 for 6 from 2. So not bad. He's just not hitting his threes. So who knows? Might be much ado about nothing. Taylor Hendricks got 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on with Taylor Hendricks. It might be bad because of the injury. That's kind of what I'm chalking it up to. I have so much hope that he'll get better. I really do. I hope so. I hope. I think really the injury is kind of what we're looking at. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer. It's a big bummer. Because, you know, we all know what he could potentially be, which, you know, I don't know if we've seen enough from him to see him become anything more than like I think Jeremy Grant, but maybe a little bit better defense is like the absolute best case scenario. He just looks so slow out there. I don't know what's wrong. I think it's the leg, and it sucks. I hope it just heals up, and this offseason he can just get better. It just sucks. It's just a bummer. It's a real bummer. But I would just say, why don't we just let him take time to get better? Because Jazz can afford to. And, you know, even when his contract comes up, I think you got to give him another one just to give him more time. That injury was so horrific. It was so bad that I think he deserves a chance to just get better, you know? So let's see. I think that's it for tonight, guys. Let's go to Tankathon. It's just been a very successful, well, a lot of teams lost that we wanted to win, but you know what? It's fine. What the Jazz are doing is controlling their own destiny, and that's what you got to do. Mavericks won, though, which is hilarious. So much complaining. The Mavericks have now won 3 in a row. Look at, where's Dallas? Dallas has won 3 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Ha ha. They're tied with Milwaukee and Memphis still. That's hilarious. I want Atlanta to start winning and not give this pick to San Antonio. You know that San Antonio has the devil's luck. They'll absolutely jump. Get these teams in the playoffs. Get Cleveland and Miami down here. Give us some more lottery balls. All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support, go down to join on YouTube, and I would appreciate it. I really especially appreciate the All-Stars. All right, let's give a shout out to See Ya, Lex the Later, Ryan Perry, The Name Means King, The Legend, Jace the Ace Garner, Steve Areno Stusser, Let Him Cook Sturdy Pots, Ezekiel Raicibe, The Man from Down Under, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Christian House Money to Haas, Robert Hall of Fame, Arcs Poetica, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, Key4 at PG, The OG, and Patrick Akubo, The Connoisseur. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're on the podcast, give me a 5-star review. I would appreciate it. And share it with your friends.